So I tried hardcore drugs for the first time the other day, and I have to say, I definitely get the hype. I totally recommend it to anyone who hasn't tried it yet. While I was on my little bender, I remembered something. Oh shit, remember Nintendogs? And that's how we arrived at today's topic. We're talking about Nintendogs. No, not the DS version that probably comes to mind first when the series is mentioned. That's a story for another day. We're talking about the one that I played the most as a kid, Nintendogs plus Cats on the 3DS. If I'm being honest, I don't really remember too much about Nintendogs. It was yet another one of those games that I never actually owned, but I'd rent from my local family video from time to time, and I remember enjoying it quite a lot. I've been hankering to try this game out again, so let's get into it. Nintendogs plus Cats was released as a launch title on the 3DS on March 27, 2011 in North America. It's a successor to the DS game simply titled Nintendogs. The original Nintendogs was a very big deal. It was the second best-selling game on the DS, outselling some of Nintendo's juggernaut series like Mario Kart, Pokemon, and Animal Crossing. It was revolutionary within the genre of virtual pet sims, mostly due to the touchscreen, which added a level of interactivity that was perfect for a pet simulator. It was like you were actually petting the dogs. How do you top a game that was such a massive success? Just add one of these bad boys and you have the perfect follow-up to Nintendogs. Nintendogs plus Cats didn't even really come close to the success of the original in terms of sales, but that doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the game. First off, the 3DS sold about half as many units as the DS, so obviously there was less of a potential audience. Secondly, a very large portion of the DS user base were more casual gamers. It was made up of people who didn't play video games outside of their DS and Wii. After that generation of consoles passed, those people moved on from video games. It led to the next Nintendogs, a series that was a smash hit with casual gamers due to its simple and easy to play nature, not even cracking the top 10 best-selling 3DS games. However, it was still a huge success and was able to hit just shy of 4 million units sold. 3 different versions of the game were released, and each one has 9 different starter breeds that you can obtain. It is possible to get any of the 27 breeds in one game, though it's trickier. This has always been a strange series to have 3 different versions for, at least to me. It's not like Pokemon where you have to trade between 2 versions in order to complete the Pokédex. All the dog breeds can be obtained in one game without having to interact with other versions. I've always been totally cool with Pokemon's dual releases, but I think Nintendogs could have done with just one release. 3 seems excessive. The gameplay of Nintendogs plus Cats is very similar to the first game, but a lot of new features were added. First of all, the graphics are a huge upgrade over the first game. The pets look way more lifelike with better fur and smoother animations, and the environments are more detailed and have more going on in them. This game also introduces facial recognition technology using the 3DS camera, so the pets can recognize their owner. For example, if someone else grabs your 3DS and starts playing Nintendogs, your pets may react negatively to the new player. Super cool immersion factor here. This game also has a Street Pass feature where you can meet other players that you cross paths with in real life while you're out walking your pet. And lastly, of course, there's the cats. We'll get to those later. The game opens with you at the kennel where you get to pick your first doggy companion. You have a couple different breeds to choose from. Each breed will have 3 different dogs, so you have a few different options when it comes to gender, personality, and color variations. I decided to go with this golden retriever. Her description reads, "This little tomboy loves to play with her toys." After bringing the little rascal home and letting her get comfortable, the first thing the game asks us to do is to name her. I decided to go with the name Maggie. You have to speak her name into the microphone so you can call her over by saying her name in real life. This is one of the coolest features in Nintendogs, but setting up the voice commands can be extremely frustrating sometimes because of how finicky the game is with understanding them. Once you get the voice command registered, it works surprisingly well. It's just setting it up that's the issue, and it can take quite a few attempts. You can also use the voice commands to teach your dog tricks. Sit down! I was really struggling to get the sit down command to register. It took so many tries, and when I finally felt like I was getting the hang of it, of course an earthquake ravaged the state of Ohio and ruined my take. Sit down! As for caring for your pet, you can pet them, feed and water them, bathe them, and choose a variety of toys to play with them. You can also take your pets on walks. You guide them with a touchscreen and watch as they pee, poop, interact with other dogs, and sometimes bring you gifts. Maggie seems to be getting pretty lonely these days, so I'd say it's time to pick up a friend for her. We'll need money in order to do this. There's a variety of shops you can spend your money on, including the kennel where we will be adopting our new cat soon. One of the main ways of earning money in this game is through competitions. These are little mini games you play with your dog, and you earn more money based on how high you placed. Every time you place first, you get to move up and compete in a higher cup with the opportunity to earn more prize money. The first one is disc competition, where you throw the frisbee and you get more points based on how impressive the catch is. Maggie totally embarrassed me in our first attempt, but after getting the hang of it, we were totally clowning on the other dog owners. I like this minigame. It reminds me a lot of the frisbee game in Wii Sports Resort. The second competition is lure coursing. This one replaced the agility trial from the first game, which was somewhat of a controversial change because I know a lot of people really like that one. In lure coursing, you try to get your pet across the finish line as quickly as possible by reeling the lure, which they will chase. If you go too slow, your pet will catch it and play with it, and if you go too fast, they'll just give up. The last one is obedience trials. This competition has you using the AR cards that come with your 3DS to bring your dog into the real world. You basically have your dog do all the tricks it learned by speaking into the microphone, and you earn more points based on your performance. I definitely would have liked to see more minigames here. I think 5 would have been a good number, but the ones we do have are pretty fun, so I won't complain too much. This game is called Nintendogs plus Cats for a reason. I almost have enough to buy Maggie a friend. I still needed a few more dollars to purchase a cat, so after selling the rest of Maggie's food at the recycle shop, I finally had the funds to pick up my new kitty companion. I went over to the kennel to pick up this little guy. After bringing the cat home, it was clear that he needed some time to adjust to the new environment. He looked quite anxious, so I gave him plenty of pets and gave him this balloon that he loved to play with. It seemed to really cure his anxiety. I'm not sure what I would have done without the balloon. After he got comfortable, it was time to name the little goober. I decided to go with the shovel. After hanging out with the shovel, I quickly realized that having a cat is literally the same as having a dog, except you can't teach them tricks.
Bring me another beer. Bring me another beer.
They also can't do competitions. I thought it would have been cool for the cats to have their own unique set of minigames. To be fair, I'm not really sure how trainable cats are in real life. My cats just kinda don't do anything. Maybe having competitions for the cats wouldn't be very realistic, but I feel like they could have done something. Having lure coursing be a cat minigame where you use some kind of cat toy would have been perfect. And then they could have just brought the agility trial back to be the third dog minigame. The cats are pretty basic. You can't do a whole lot with them compared to the dogs. It would have been nice if owning a cat had its own unique features. However, cats are still a fun and welcome addition, even if there isn't really anything unique about owning them. Nintendogs plus Cats is not the type of game that you will be playing for hours on end, but if you like pet simulators, this is one of the best ones you'll find. There's definitely some room for improvement though. There are some features I'd like to see if we end up getting another game. I think it would be cool if the pets could actually grow up so you could raise a puppy and watch it grow into a full-grown dog. Some people may not like this because they like to have their dogs stay as puppies forever, but I think it'd be pretty cool. Also, more minigames and minigames that are exclusive to each kind of pet would be very much appreciated. It ain't much, but Nintendogs plus Cats is a fun time if you like pet simulators, and is a welcome successor to Nintendogs. It's fun for the first week or so that you play, but don't expect to be playing this game for weeks or months on end. Hopefully if Nintendo continues the series, they'll add a bunch of new features and mechanics that'll help extend the playtime. And that's all I have to say, so farewell my friends.